Then just live with me. 32. I had learned three important things about Victoria Hayes. First, she hated being late. Second, she hated unnecessary conversation. Third, she hated almost everyone, which was why seeing the famously ice-cold CEO of Hayes International standing in my kitchen, holding a bowl of salad felt like evidence that reality had malfunctioned. Daniel. I looked up from the stove. Yes, the steak is burning. I turned around. Damn. From the dining table. Sophia Bennett laughed so hard she nearly spilled her wine. This is why he's still single. I am single by choice. Sophia raised an eyebrow. Whose choice? I pointed the spatula at her. Keep talking, and you're getting the burned one. Threatening your guest. Very attractive. Victoria silently took the spatula from my hand. I stared at her. What are you doing? Saving dinner. You're my CEO? And you don't cook. Her cold gray eyes lifted to mine. You don't know what I do outside the office. Fair. At Hayes International, Victoria was legendary. 34. CEO before 32. Never raised her voice. Never needed to. One look from her could reduce a vice president to an apology. Sophia was her opposite. Warm, talkative, 35, and apparently incapable of entering a room without becoming friends with someone. She had been Victoria's best friend since university. I'd met Sophia several times at company events. But tonight was the first time both women had come to my home. The invitation had started as a joke. Victoria and I had been working late on the Meridian account when Sophia appeared at headquarters to drag her to dinner. I complained that neither of them appreciated good food. Sophia challenged me to prove I could cook. Victoria said he can't. So naturally, I invited them both. I regretted it approximately 17 minutes after they arrived. Not because dinner was going badly, because Victoria looked too comfortable in my apartment. She had removed her blazer and folded the sleeves of her white blouse to her elbows. Her long dark hair, usually pinned neatly at work, fell over one shoulder. It made her look less like the woman who controlled 12,000 employees. More like, no, bad direction. I returned my attention to dinner. 20 minutes later, we were eating. Sophia took one bite of steak. I withdraw every negative thing I've said about you. Everything? Everything from tonight. Generous. Victoria tasted hers. Well, I asked. She cut another piece. Acceptable. Sophia leaned toward me. She loves it. Victoria's eyes moved toward her. I said acceptable. She has 3 levels of praise. Sophia explained. Not terrible. Acceptable. And silence. What does silence mean? She wants to marry you. Victoria's fork stopped. I laughed. Sophia smiled into her wine. I should have noticed that smile. I didn't. Dinner continued until Sophia's phone rang. She looked at the screen and groaned. My mother. Answer. Victoria said. No. She'll keep calling. She wants to introduce me to another man. I laughed. Sophia pointed at me. Don't. I didn't say anything. Your face did. She rejected the call. She has decided 35 is a medical emergency. Maybe she worries about you. I said. She worries I'll die surrounded by expensive shoes. Could be worse. Exactly. Victoria sipped her wine. Sophia sighed dramatically. Every family dinner is the same. Sophia, when are you getting married? Sophia, your cousin has 2 children. Sophia, what are you waiting for? I leaned back. So stop looking. She blinked. What? Stop looking for a partner. Sophia smiled. And I gestured around the apartment. Just live with me. Silence. I grinned. Obviously a joke. Sophia knew it. I knew it. Victoria apparently did not. Sophia slowly placed her glass down. Sure. I blinked. What? When do I move in? I laughed. Tomorrow. I'll clear half the closet. Half. 40%. 70. Absolutely not. 60. Deal. Sophia extended her hand. I reached across the table. Before our hands touched, Victoria stood. Her chair scraped sharply against the floor. Both of us looked at her. Her expression was calm. Too calm. Daniel. Yes. Come with me. Where? She looked toward the hallway. Your room. Sophia covered her mouth. I stared at Victoria. My bedroom. Now. There were many things a man could say when his beautiful, notoriously cold CEO ordered him into his own bedroom while her best friend sat smiling at his dinner table. I chose. Am I being fired? Victoria turned and walked away. Sophia whispered. You should probably go. Why are you smiling? No reason. You know something. I know many things. That sounded ominous. I followed Victoria. The moment I entered my bedroom, She closed the door, then locked it. I looked at the lock, then her. Victoria? She turned. For the first time since I'd known her. The Ice Queen looked genuinely angry. Not CEO angry. Something much more personal. You asked Sophia to live with you. I stared. That is why we're in here. Answer. It was a joke. She accepted. She was joking too. You don't know that. I laughed. Wrong decision. Victoria stepped closer. What's funny, you? Her eyes narrowed. Careful. Victoria. You're acting like. I stopped. Like she was jealous. Impossible. Except she was standing in my bedroom with flushed cheeks. Furious because I'd jokingly invited another woman to move in. Suddenly, the impossible didn't look very impossible. I smiled. Her expression became dangerous. Don't. Are you jealous? No? Too fast. I smiled wider. Victoria Hayes is jealous. I am not. Of Sophia? No? Then why did you drag me into my bedroom? She opened her mouth. Closed it. I waited. And then the most intimidating woman I'd ever met looked me straight in the eyes and asked, why her? My smile disappeared. What? Her voice became quieter. You asked her to live with you. Yes. Why have you never asked me? I forgot how to answer. Victoria looked away. And suddenly dinner wasn't funny anymore. Chapter 2, Why Her and Not Me. For approximately 10 seconds. Neither of us spoke. Then I said, you want to live with me? Victoria's head snapped toward me. I didn't say that. You literally asked why I never invited you. That's different. How? She folded her arms. It simply seemed arbitrary. Arbitrary? Yes. You're analyzing my imaginary roommate selection process? I'm questioning your judgment. There she was. My CEO again. Except her cheeks were still pink. I leaned against the dresser. So if I'd said, Victoria, stop looking for a partner and live with me, you wouldn't have cared? No. Good. She relaxed slightly. I continued. Move in. Her eyes widened. I laughed. She glared at me. You're enjoying this. Immensely. You're an irritating man. And yet you're in my bedroom. That shut both of us up. I cleared my throat. So, seriously, what's happening? Nothing. Victoria. She sighed, then reached into her handbag. What she placed in my hand made absolutely no sense. A key. I stared at it. What is this? My apartment. You're giving me a key to your apartment? No. Then, she took it back. Forget it. I caught her wrist before she could put it away. She froze. We were suddenly very close. I released her immediately. Sorry. Her expression softened. It's fine. I pointed at the key. Explain. Victoria hesitated. I own an apartment 3 blocks from here. I thought you lived downtown. I do. Then why own another apartment here? Silence. Victoria, I bought it 8 months ago. My confusion deepened. 8 months ago was when I'd been assigned directly to the CEO strategy group. You bought an apartment 3 blocks from me? Property appreciates. In this exact neighborhood? Yes. 3 blocks away? Yes. I stared. She stared back. Neither of us believed her explanation. Before I could push, someone knocked. Sophia's voice came through the door. Are you two finished discussing real estate? Victoria closed her eyes. I looked at her. How does she know? She guesses. Sophia called again. Victoria, if you're murdering Daniel, leave the apartment to me. Victoria opened the door. Sophia stood outside holding dessert. Her eyes moved between us. Then to the key in Victoria's hand. A smile appeared. Oh. Victoria's voice dropped. Don't. I didn't say anything. You were about to. I was going to ask if Daniel has reconsidered my 60% closet allocation. Victoria walked past her. No. Sophia followed. Why are you answering? Because you're not moving in. I stopped. Sophia looked delighted. Daniel invited me. He was joking. I accepted. You were joking. Maybe I wasn't. Victoria stopped walking. Sophia nearly walked into her. The air changed. I suddenly felt like a civilian standing between 2 nuclear powers. Sophia looked at me. Daniel, I should have stayed silent. Instead, the guest room is available. Victoria turned toward me. I immediately regretted having vocal cords. Temporarily. I added. Sophia smiled. Perfect. Victoria said nothing. But later, when they left, she stood beside my door while Sophia waited by the elevator. Don't give her a key. I laughed. Good night. Victoria, I'm serious. Good night. She stared at me for another second, then walked away. Sophia remained behind just long enough to whisper, she's worse than I expected. What? Nothing. The elevator doors closed. I stood there alone. Something strange was happening. And somehow, Sophia seemed to be the only person who understood it. Chapter 3. My CEO suddenly moved in. Sophia arrived Saturday morning with 3 suitcases. I stared at them, then at her. You were serious? Mostly. What does mostly mean? It means I brought clothes. That usually means completely. She rolled 1 suitcase past me. My apartment is being renovated. You never mentioned that. I'm mentioning it now. How long? 2 weeks. I sighed. Fine. She hugged me. You're wonderful. And that was exactly when Victoria appeared behind her. I looked past Sophia. Victoria stood in the hallway. 1 suitcase. 1 laptop bag. 1 expression suggesting someone was about to die. Victoria, move. Sophia released me. Victoria rolled her suitcase inside. I stared. What are you doing moving in? Sophia turned away suspiciously quickly. I was almost certain she was laughing. You have an apartment 3 blocks away. Plumbing problem. Since when? This morning. Sophia coughed. It sounded like, liar. Victoria looked at her. Something wrong? No. I rubbed my forehead. I have 1 guest room. I'll take it. Victoria said. Sophia raised her hand. I arrived first. You can stay at a hotel. You can stay in your apartment. Plumbing. Your other apartment. Too far from the office. You have a driver. Victoria smiled. Not warmly. Sophia? Yes? Hotel. Sophia looked at me. Daniel? I looked between them. This felt dangerous. We can work something out. Victoria answered. We already have. 10 minutes later. Sophia had somehow volunteered to sleep on the sofa. I still didn't understand how. By Monday, my apartment had changed completely. Victoria woke at 6. Made coffee. Answered emails at my kitchen island. Criticized my cereal. Reorganized my refrigerator. Why are there 4 kinds of mustard? Freedom. Nobody needs this. This is America. She threw away 2 expired bottles. I felt violated. Sophia watched everything with the expression of a scientist observing a successful experiment. At work, Victoria returned to being the ice queen. Your meridian projection is incomplete. You reviewed it at breakfast. Breakfast isn't an executive meeting. You said it was good. I said the eggs were good. Sophia, visiting for lunch, nearly choked laughing. That evening, I came home late. Victoria was asleep on the sofa. Sophia sat at the table reading. I lowered my voice. Why isn't she in bed? Waiting for you. My heart skipped. What? Sophia looked at me over the top of her book. She said she wasn't. Then why say she was? Because she was. I stared at Victoria. Her face looked different asleep. Softer. Younger. Not lonely exactly, but tired in a way I'd never noticed at work. I took a blanket and covered her. Sophia watched. What? Nothing. You keep saying that. Maybe you should start noticing things without me explaining them. Like? She closed her book. Good night. Daniel. I frowned. Sophia? She walked toward the hallway, then stopped. Oh, 1 thing. What? Tomorrow I'm going to ask you something. That sounds threatening. It isn't. She smiled. But Victoria probably won't like it. I looked at the sleeping woman on my sofa. For some reason, that worried me more than it should have. Chapter 4. Don't touch my man. Sophia's question came at a small dinner party Tuesday night. Noah Campbell from finance had invited several of us to his rooftop apartment. Victoria almost refused. Then Sophia said, Daniel is going. Victoria changed her mind. I noticed. I pretended I didn't. By 9, everyone was relaxed except Victoria. She stood near the balcony with sparkling water, wearing a black dress and an expression that warned strangers against approaching. Sophia found me near the bar. You clean up well. So do you. She wore a deep blue dress, elegant and confident. At 35, Sophia didn't look like a woman desperately waiting for marriage. She looked like a woman who could have had almost anyone she wanted, which made her mother's panic even stranger. She slipped her arm through mine. I looked down. What are you doing? Experiment. What experiment? Trust me. No. Too late. Across the room, Victoria saw us. Her expression didn't change. Her grip on her glass did. Sophia leaned closer. Interesting. You're doing this to annoy her. Maybe. Why? Because somebody needs to. Sophia? She ignored me. Then, loudly enough for Victoria to hear, Daniel, I've been thinking about your offer. My offer? To live together. I groaned. You're still doing this. What if I really wanted to? Her fingers tightened around my arm. Across the room, Victoria put down her glass. Sophia continued, we get along. Yes. You cook. Sometimes. You're reasonably attractive. Reasonably? Don't become arrogant. I laughed. Then Sophia looked directly into my eyes. What if I wanted more? I stopped laughing. What? If I actually wanted to marry you? My brain stalled. Sophia smiled. Would you say yes? Before I could answer, a hand closed around my wrist. Victoria. I hadn't even seen her cross the room. She pulled me away from Sophia. Not hard, but very definitely. Victoria? She ignored me. Her eyes were on Sophia. Enough. Sophia looked innocent. What? Stop. Stop what? You know exactly what you're doing. Around us, conversations were becoming quieter. I lowered my voice. Victoria. She didn't look at me. Sophia tilted her head. I asked Daniel a question. You've been asking him questions all week. So, you don't want to marry him. Sophia smiled. How do you know? Victoria went still. Sophia stepped closer. Maybe I changed my mind. No. Maybe living with him made me realize he's exactly what I've been looking for. No. Why not? Victoria's control finally cracked. Because you don't love him. Silence. Real silence. The entire rooftop had heard. Sophia's smile softened. Do you? Victoria froze. I forgot everyone else existed. Her eyes moved to me. Fear. That was what shocked me. Not embarrassment. Fear. The Ice Queen was afraid. Sophia touched my arm again. Victoria reacted instantly. She pulled me to her side. Don't touch him. Sophia raised an eyebrow. Why? Victoria's breathing changed. Then the woman who negotiated $100 million contracts without blinking finally lost control over 5 simple words. Because he's my man. Noah dropped something behind us. Nobody laughed. Nobody moved. Victoria realized what she'd said. Her face went red. Actually red. I stared at her. I'm your what? She released my wrist. I misspoke. Sophia burst out laughing. Victoria glared at her. You. Yes, you did this deliberately. Sophia didn't deny it. Something clicked. The moving in joke. The suitcases. The flirting. Every time Sophia pushed closer to me. She looked at Victoria afterward. I slowly turned toward her. You knew. Sophia's laughter faded into a smile. Knew what? That she'd react like this. Victoria's expression changed. Sophia? A warning. Sophia ignored it. Of course she did. I looked between them. How long? Neither answered. How long have you known Victoria likes me? Victoria closed her eyes. Sophia picked up her wine. Then said casually, longer than you have. My heart hammered. I looked at Victoria. She wouldn't meet my eyes. The woman who terrified an entire executive floor suddenly looked like she wanted the ground to open beneath her. I stepped closer. Victoria. Not here. Fine. I took her hand. This time, I was the one pulling her away. We left the rooftop. Neither of us spoke in the elevator. When we reached my apartment, Victoria walked directly toward the guest room. I caught the door before she could close it. No. She looked at me. You can't say he's my man and go to bed. I was angry. So, I said something irrational. Was it untrue? Silence. There it was again. I stepped inside. Victoria. She looked away. I softened my voice. How long? She didn't answer. Months? Nothing. A year? Her jaw tightened. My heartbeat accelerated. Longer. Finally. She whispered, Daniel. Don't. That was enough. Not because I knew the answer. Because I knew there was one. And suddenly I remembered things I'd never connected. The promotion into her strategy group. The coffee that always appeared during late meetings. The time she'd personally called a doctor when I worked through the flu. Every blind date I'd mentioned that somehow resulted in emergency work. Her apartment 3 blocks from mine. The key. The jealousy. Sophia's strange smiles. I stared at her. You've liked me for years. Victoria looked at me. Her eyes were vulnerable in a way I'd never seen. Then my phone buzzed. Sophia? One message. Don't let her escape this time. I showed Victoria. She closed her eyes. I'm going to kill her. I laughed. You love her. Currently debatable. Another message arrived. And Daniel? Don't believe everything you think happened this week. I frowned. Victoria saw it too. What does that mean? I was about to ask you. We looked toward the living room. Sophia wasn't home. Her suitcase was still beside the sofa. But something about the entire week suddenly felt staged. The joke. Her instant acceptance. The renovation. The flirting. Even tonight's question. Sophia hadn't been competing with Victoria. She had been provoking her. Deliberately. I looked at the Ice Queen standing in my bedroom doorway. She set you up. Victoria's expression darkened. Yes. Why? Her answer came quietly. Because she's been telling me to confess to you for 3 years. 3 years. I stopped breathing. Victoria realized what she'd revealed. Too late. I stared at her. You've liked me for 3 years? She looked toward the door. I blocked it. Don't even think about running. Her eyes narrowed. This is my employee speaking to me. No? I stepped closer. This is your man. For once, Victoria Hayes had absolutely nothing to say. Volume 2. My Love Rival was helping me. Chapter 5. The 35-year-old woman had a secret the next morning. Victoria pretended nothing had happened. This was impressive considering that less than 12 hours earlier, she'd announced to an entire rooftop party that I was her man, then admitted she'd liked me for 3 years, then spent the night hiding in my guest room. At 7:10 a.m., I found her in my kitchen making coffee. Gray suit, hair tied back, perfect posture, Ice Queen restored. Good morning, she said. I leaned against the counter. Good morning, girlfriend. The coffee stopped halfway to her mouth. I am not your girlfriend. My woman, no? My secret 3-year admirer. Her eyes narrowed. Do you enjoy having a job? Less than I enjoy this conversation. She placed the cup down. Last night was emotionally compromised. That sounds like a legal defense. It means you shouldn't overinterpret what I said. You said, he's my man. I remember. You also admitted you've liked me for 3 years. I remember that too. Good. I was worried the Ice Queen had selective amnesia. She stared at me. I smiled. Then Sophia walked out of the hallway wearing pajamas and carrying her phone. Morning. Victoria turned. The temperature in the kitchen dropped 10 degrees. Sophia stopped. Oh, you. Me. Victoria pointed toward the dining table. Sit. Sophia looked at me. Am I being disciplined? Probably. Can I have coffee first? No. Sophia sat. Victoria stood across from her. You planned last night. Sophia picked up an apple. Yes. You deliberately touched Daniel. Yes. You deliberately asked him to marry you. Yes. You deliberately made me declare ownership over an adult man in front of 20 people. Victoria's expression became lethal. Sophia bit into the apple. Yes. I covered my mouth. Victoria looked at me. Don't. I failed. A laugh escaped. She turned back to Sophia. Why? Sophia shrugged. Because 3 years was becoming embarrassing. Victoria went still. You had no right. I had every right. I'm your best friend. That gives you permission to humiliate me, no? Your personality gave me permission. I laughed again. Victoria pointed at the door. Both of you out. This is Daniel's apartment. Sophia said. Victoria froze. Sophia smiled. That's right. You don't own this one. Technically, she owns one 3 blocks away. I added. Victoria slowly turned toward me. I raised my hands. I'm helping. You're not. Sophia looked between us, clearly delighted. I decided it was time to ask the question that had been bothering me all night. Sophia? Yes? Do you actually like me? Victoria's head snapped toward her. Sophia's expression became thoughtful. Of course. I waited. She smiled. You're funny. You cook. You tolerate Victoria. Not what I meant. I know. Do you want me? Victoria said, Daniel. I ignored her. Sophia leaned back. No. The answer was immediate. Victoria blinked. I stared. So everything this week was fake. Not everything. The moving in, mostly. Your apartment isn't being renovated. Absolutely not. I looked toward her 3 suitcases. What's in those? Clothes. You packed 3 suitcases to fake moving into my apartment? I believe in preparation. Victoria closed her eyes. You are insane. Sophia pointed at her. Says the woman who bought an apartment 3 blocks from a man she couldn't ask to dinner. That shut Victoria up. I looked at Sophia. The marriage question last night. Fake. The flirting? Mostly. Mostly, Sophia smiled. You are handsome. Victoria immediately said, Sophia, relax. Then I asked, why? Sophia's amusement faded. Because she wasn't going to do anything. Victoria's expression hardened. Enough. No. Sophia looked at me. Daniel, do you know how many times Victoria almost told you? I glanced at Victoria. She looked genuinely alarmed. Sophia? 7. I blinked. 7. Victoria stood. I'm going to work. I caught her wrist. No. She looked at my hand. Then me. I released her, but stayed between her and the hallway. 7 times? Daniel. I would like the evidence. Sophia smiled. Your birthday 2 years ago. Victoria's jaw tightened. The Meridian Conference. Sophia. Christmas party. Stop. The hospital. I stopped smiling. What hospital? Victoria went pale. Sophia seemed to realize she'd crossed something. For the first time. She hesitated. I looked at Victoria. What hospital? Nothing. That's not an answer. She picked up her bag. We'll be late. Then she left. I watched the door close. Sophia no longer looked amused. What happened at the hospital? She shook her head. Ask her. You brought it up. And I shouldn't have. That was the first time I'd seen Sophia retreat, which meant whatever happened at that hospital mattered. A lot. I turned back toward her. You know what I don't understand? What? You've spent a week trying to push us together. Yes. But why are you so invested? Her smile returned. But it wasn't playful this time. Because someone had to be. Then she grabbed her purse. I stepped in front of her. No. She raised an eyebrow. Now you're trapping women in rooms too? You're hiding something. Everyone hides something. You're 35. Your mother keeps arranging dates. You pretend you're desperate enough to move in with me. But you don't actually seem interested in finding anyone. Her expression changed. Just slightly. I noticed. So what's your story? Sophia stared at me. Then smiled. Careful. Daniel. Why? You're finally starting to notice things. She walked past me. At the door. She turned. One piece of advice. What? If you want Victoria, don't ask why she hasn't chosen you. Her voice softened. Ask why she's terrified that you'll choose her for the wrong reason. Then she left. I stood alone in the apartment. One fake love rival. One CEO who had secretly loved me for 3 years. And one hospital incident nobody wanted to explain. For the first time, I realized Sophia hadn't created this story. She'd only forced me to notice that I'd been living inside it for years. Chapter 6. She had been setting us up. Sophia made one mistake. She left her phone on my kitchen counter. I did not search it. I would like that stated clearly. I merely picked it up when it buzzed. And then the screen lit up. A notification appeared. Project Ice Melt. Updated. I stared. That was not a title a reasonable person ignored. Sophia came back through the door 30 seconds later. My phone. She saw my face. Then the screen. Oh, what is Project Ice Melt? Climate Initiative. You're a terrible liar. True. I held out the phone. I didn't open it. Very ethical. But now I desperately want to. Sophia took the phone. Goodbye. Sophia. She sighed. Then unlocked it. Fine. She opened the note and handed it to me. I read. Project Ice Melt 1. Get invited to Daniel's apartment. Completed. 2. Mention being single. Completed. 3. Accept any joke about moving in. Completed. I looked up. You predicted I'd make that joke? No. That was luck. I continued. 4. Make Victoria stay overnight. Completed. 5. Flirt with Daniel where Victoria can see. Completed. 6. Force Victoria to admit why she hates his dates. Incomplete. 7. Make Daniel notice Victoria as a woman, not only his CEO. Sophia had added a checkmark. I stared at it. You planned all of this? Yes. For how long? 2 months. 2 months? Victoria was getting worse. What does that mean? She heard you were considering a transfer to Seattle. I remembered. I'd mentioned it casually after a recruiter called. I never applied. Sophia continued. She didn't sleep properly for 3 days. My amusement disappeared. She could have asked me to stay. Exactly. Instead, she prepared a compensation review. Then deleted it because she thought you'd believe she was buying you. That sounded painfully like Victoria. I scrolled. There were older entries. Stop Victoria from assigning Daniel directly to CEO office. Convince her anonymous birthday gift is creepy. Prevent her from canceling his blind date. I looked up. She tried to cancel one of my dates. 3. I stopped 2. What happened to the 3rd? Sophia smiled. Emergency Meridian meeting. My mouth fell open. That meeting could have happened Monday. Yes. She scheduled it Friday night. Yes. My date left. Yes. Sophia. I told her it was psychotic. And she said it was operationally necessary. I started laughing. I couldn't help it. The Ice Queen. Victoria Hayes. CEO of a multinational company. Sabotaging my Friday date with a spreadsheet. Then I reached another entry. Hospital. Do not let Victoria confess while Daniel is medicated. I stopped. There it was. What happened? Sophia's smile disappeared. I remembered the incident now. 2 years ago. Appendicitis. I'd collapsed at work after ignoring abdominal pain for hours. When I woke after surgery, there had been flowers beside my bed. No name. I had assumed they came from HR. Victoria was there. Sophia nodded. How long? Most of the night. I stared. I never saw her. She left before you woke properly. Why? She didn't want you to know. Why? Because you were half conscious and kept thanking her. For what? Sophia hesitated. For staying. Something tightened in my chest. She almost told you that night. That she liked me. Yes. Why didn't she? Because you were on painkillers. I laughed softly. Reasonable. That wasn't the only reason. Sophia took her phone back. She was afraid you'd wake up the next morning. Remember, your CEO had confessed beside your hospital bed. And feel obligated. There it was again. Obligation. Power. Choice. Sophia looked at me carefully. Victoria can negotiate against people twice her age without blinking. But not this. No. Why? Because she has power over your career. Sophia's voice became serious. If she asked you to dinner, can you comfortably say no? Yes. Can you? I opened my mouth. Then stopped. She nodded. Exactly. She thinks I'd date her because she's my CEO. She thinks there's a possibility. And that's enough to stop her? For Victoria? Yes. I leaned against the counter. 3 years. 3 years of ridiculous restraint disguised as coldness. Then another thought came. Why did she bring me into her strategy group? Sophia smiled. That one was legitimate. You're sure? She argued against it. What? Your name was recommended by another executive. She initially refused. Why? Because she knew what people might say if she ever told you how she felt. I looked down. That changed something. She hadn't used her power to pull me closer. She'd almost used it to push me away. Sophia picked up her bag. Now you know? Not everything. No. Why do you care this much? She smiled. Still asking, yes. You'll understand eventually. She headed toward the door. I called after her. Sophia? She turned. You realize Project Ice Melt is a terrible name. Her face became offended. It worked. Unfortunately. She had a point. Chapter 7. The Ice Queen had loved me for years. Victoria avoided me for 2 days. At home, she worked late. At work, she became aggressively professional. Mr. Foster. Yes. Ms. Hayes. Your revised forecast. Already sent. Send it again. Why? I don't see it. You replied, approved, 12 minutes ago. Silence. Her eyes narrowed. Then why are you still here? I smiled. Because you keep finding reasons to talk to me. The junior analyst beside us suddenly became fascinated by his laptop. Victoria walked away. That evening, I waited in the kitchen. At 9:18, she came home. She stopped when she saw me. Sophia isn't here. No? Where is she? Hotel. Victoria frowned. Why? I asked her to leave. That got her attention. She was never really moving in. I know. She showed me Project Ice Melt. Victoria went completely still. She what? I've seen the list. I am going to kill her. She said you'd say that. I mean it. I also know about the hospital. Victoria's face changed. Daniel, the flowers were from you. Silence. You stayed all night. Nothing. You almost told me. She put her bag down. I'm tired. No. I stepped closer. You've spent 3 years deciding what I should and shouldn't know. Her expression hardened. I was trying not to make you uncomfortable. You bought an apartment near me. That was an investment. Victoria. Fine. She looked away. Bad example. I almost smiled. Then I asked, why didn't you tell me? You know why? I want to hear it from you. She was quiet for a long time. Finally, because I'm your CEO. So I sign off on compensation structures that affect you. I influence the executives who decide promotions. I can change your career with one meeting. You've never threatened me. That isn't the point. She looked directly at me. If I told you I wanted you, how could I know your yes was real? That silenced me. She continued. Maybe you like me. A pause. Maybe you think rejecting me would hurt your career. Another. Maybe you don't even know which. Her voice became quieter. I couldn't live with that. I understood now. Her coldness wasn't fear of rejection. It was fear of acceptance. The wrong acceptance. I moved closer. What if I choose you first? Victoria stopped breathing. What? I've spent 2 days thinking. Dangerous. Very. I smiled. You drive me insane. That doesn't sound promising. You're controlling. Her eyebrow rose. Obsessive. Daniel. Terrible at communicating. You can stop. And apparently you sabotage blind dates. Twice. 3 times. Sophia lies. I laughed. Then softened. But when I was sick, you stayed. Her eyes dropped. When I nearly transferred, you didn't offer me money. You deserve the review. You've never promoted me because you wanted me closer. No. You've actually made this harder on yourself because you wanted my choice to be mine. She didn't answer. I stepped close enough that there was almost no space between us. So here's my choice. Victoria looked up. I kissed her. For half a second. She didn't move. Then her hand caught my shirt. The ice queen disappeared. When we separated, she stared at me like I'd broken some fundamental law of physics. You kissed your CEO? No. I smiled. I kissed Victoria. Her eyes became bright. That distinction mattered. Then she whispered, again. So I did. Chapter 8, I finally chose her first 3 nights later. Hayes International held its Meridian celebration dinner. Victoria had closed the largest contract of the year. I had led part of the strategy team. Sophia attended as Victoria's guest. She arrived 20 minutes late, kissed Victoria's cheek, then whispered something that made her glare. I approached. What did you say? Sophia smiled. Congratulations on finally kissing. I nearly dropped my drink. Victoria looked murderous. You told her. I didn't need to. Sophia said. Your face did. My face does nothing. Your face is practically honeymooning. I laughed. Victoria walked away. Sophia watched her go. She looks happy. Terrifyingly. Good. Something in Sophia's voice made me look at her. Not teasing. Relieved. Before I could ask why, a woman approached me. Emily Carson. Consultant. Smart. Funny. Recently divorced. We'd worked together twice. Daniel. Emily. She smiled. I hear Meridian is finished. Finally. Then you no longer have an excuse. For dinner. I blinked. Sophia went very still beside me. Across the room. Victoria saw us. Of course she did. Emily continued. You've turned me down twice because of work. That was true. Friday, I could feel Victoria's attention from 20 feet away. Months ago, I might have panicked. Maybe invented another meeting. Maybe wondered what rejecting Emily in front of my CEO meant. Not tonight. Sorry. Emily raised an eyebrow. Still working? No. I looked toward Victoria. There's already someone I want. Emily followed my gaze. Her eyes widened. Then she smiled. Oh, yeah. Good luck. I may need it. You definitely will. She left. Sophia was grinning. Don't. I'm not saying anything. Your faces. I walked toward Victoria. She pretended to study the skyline. Emily seems nice. She said. She is. Silence. She asked you out. Yes. You should go if you want. I don't. Victoria turned. I took something from my pocket. A key. Her expression changed. You asked why I never invited you to live with me. Daniel. I'm asking now. I placed the key in her palm. No fake plumbing. She almost smiled. No corporate justification. Her fingers closed around it. No Sophia sleeping on the sofa. From behind us. Rude. We ignored her. I looked at Victoria. Come live with me. Her eyes became wet. You're sure? That question is getting old. I need to know. I know. I took her hand. I'm choosing you. For once. She didn't argue. She simply nodded. Then Sophia appeared beside us. Excellent. Victoria wiped quickly beneath one eye. Go away. No. Sophia lifted her champagne. My work is complete. I looked at her. Project Ice Melt. Successfully concluded. Victoria said, I hate you. You're welcome. Then Sophia's phone rang. She checked it. Something changed in her expression. Tiny. But I noticed. She rejected the call. Victoria noticed too. Your mother? No? Another date? No? Sophia slipped the phone into her purse. Then smiled at us. Actually, I should go? I frowned. Already, yes. Why? She shrugged. You two don't need me anymore. That sounded strange. Victoria caught her arm. Sophia? For a second, the playful mask disappeared. There was something underneath it. Something sad. Then Sophia smiled again. I'll call tomorrow. She hugged Victoria. Then me. At the door. She turned. Oh, Daniel? Yes, the offer to live with you. I laughed. Expired. Tragic. She smiled. Then left. Victoria looked at the closed door. She lied. About what? I don't know. I remembered the call. The sadness she'd hidden. The way she had spent weeks fixing our love lives while refusing to say anything about her own. Then something else occurred to me. Sophia's apartment was never being renovated. No, she isn't actually desperate to find a husband. No. Then why does everyone think she's been searching for years? Victoria didn't answer. I looked at her. You know, her expression changed. It's Sophia's story to tell. That was confirmation. What happened? Victoria shook her head. I won't betray her. Fair. Then she looked down at the key in her hand. A tiny smile appeared. I wrapped my arm around her. You're moving in tomorrow. She recovered her ice queen voice. I have conditions. Of course you do. Your refrigerator is unacceptable. No. The mustard situation, absolutely not. Daniel. Victoria. She glared. I kissed her. Argument over. But while she leaned against me, my thoughts returned to Sophia. The 35-year-old woman everyone treated like she was still waiting for someone to choose her. Except Sophia didn't behave like a woman waiting. She behaved like someone who had already made a choice. Maybe a painful one. And maybe the biggest lie she told us wasn't that she wanted me. Maybe it was that she'd spent all these years looking for a husband at all. Volume 3. She was never looking for a husband. Chapter 9. Sophia was never waiting for love. Sophia disappeared for 3 days. Not literally. She answered messages. She sent Victoria a photo of coffee. She replied to me with a single thumbs up when I asked whether she was okay. But she didn't come over. Didn't call. Didn't make jokes. Which, for Sophia Bennett, was the emotional equivalent of vanishing into the mountains. By Sunday afternoon, Victoria had had enough. We're going to her apartment. I looked up from the box I was unpacking. Technically, Victoria had moved in the previous day. Emotionally, she had occupied the apartment months ago. Her books were already taking over my shelves. Her skincare products had colonized the bathroom, and she had thrown away one of my mustards. I was still grieving. She asked for space. I said, she lies when she's upset. You would know? Victoria gave me a look. I held up both hands. Fine. We're going. Sophia opened the door wearing sweatpants and no makeup. She stared at us, then at the bag in Victoria's hand. What is that? Food? I have food. No. You have wine and crackers. Sophia frowned. How do you know? Because I've known you 17 years. We walked in. For once, Sophia didn't argue. Her apartment was elegant, warm, and strangely empty. No framed couple photographs. No evidence of the endless dates her mother supposedly arranged. Then I noticed one picture on the bookshelf. Sophia, younger, maybe 29, standing beside a man, both laughing, a ring visible on her left hand. I looked away before she saw me. Too late. You found him. Victoria became still. Sophia sighed. It's fine. I looked at her. Who is he? Sophia walked to the bookshelf and picked up the photograph. Michael. Ex-boyfriend. Fiancé. I glanced at Victoria. She already knew. Sophia sat. We were supposed to get married 6 years ago. That explained the age. 35. The family pressure. The way she laughed whenever people talked about finding someone. What happened? I asked. Sophia smiled sadly. Nothing dramatic. No cheating, no. No secret family, no. No billionaire conspiracy. She laughed. You spend too much time around Victoria. Victoria ignored that. Sophia looked at the photo. Michael was good. That seemed to hurt more than if he'd been terrible. He wanted children. A house outside the city. Family dinners every Sunday. And you didn't? I thought I did. She put the picture down. Then, 3 months before the wedding, I realized every decision we made had somehow become his life. I stayed silent. My job became negotiable because his wasn't. My travel became selfish because he wanted stability. My apartment became temporary because we'd lived near his parents. She laughed softly. None of it was abuse. None of it was cruel. It was just, Victoria finished quietly, not yours. Sophia nodded. So I ended it. Did you still love him? I asked. Yes. That surprised me. Sophia saw it. That was the hardest part. She looked directly at me. Sometimes loving someone doesn't mean the life they want is the life you should live. I thought of Victoria, of her refusing to tell me how she felt because she feared I wouldn't truly choose. Sophia continued. Everyone said I panicked. My mother said I'd regret it by 30, then 32, then 35. She smiled. Apparently 35 is the age at which society officially declares a woman defective. Victoria's face hardened. You were never defective. I know. No hesitation. That was the difference. Sophia knew. She leaned back. That's why Victoria annoyed me so much. Victoria frowned. Me? You were doing the opposite. Sophia pointed at her. I walked away from a life that didn't belong to me. You had a life you wanted and were too scared to take it. Victoria looked offended. I had valid concerns. 3 years of valid concerns. I laughed. She turned. Daniel, I'm not involved. Sophia smiled. You see why Project Ice Melt was necessary. Still a terrible name. It worked. Then I asked, why didn't you ever tell me about Michael? Sophia shrugged. Because I don't want my life explained as a tragedy. That sentence stayed with me. I didn't fail to marry. I chose not to. And I've spent 6 years watching people treat those as the same thing. Victoria reached for her hand. Sophia squeezed it, then looked at me. So when you joked that I should stop looking for a partner and live with you, you thought it was funny. I thought it was perfect. For Project I smelt. Yes. She smiled. Because Victoria had already spent years pretending she didn't want exactly what you accidentally offered me. Victoria's ears turned pink. I laughed. Sophia pointed at me. Don't become arrogant. Too late. For the first time in days. Sophia looked like herself again. But now I understood something I hadn't before. She hadn't spent years waiting for love. She had spent years refusing to let love become a cage. And that was exactly why she had been so determined to force Victoria to make a choice freely. Chapter 10: The Fake Love Rivals Final Trap. 2 weeks after Victoria moved in, Sophia announced she was taking me on a date. She did this over breakfast. In my kitchen, while Victoria was holding a knife. A butter knife. Still dangerous. Sophia took a sip of coffee. Friday. 7. I stared. What? You and me. Victoria stopped spreading butter. I noticed immediately. Sophia noticed too. Obviously. No. I said. Why? I have a girlfriend. Victoria's eyes moved to me. Technically, we had never used that word. Interesting. Sophia smiled. Do you? I frowned. Yes. Have you discussed it? I looked at Victoria. She looked at the toast. Sophia leaned back. Exactly. Victoria said coldly. What are you doing? Helping. You've helped enough. Debatable. Sophia turned to me. Daniel. Friday. No. Coward. Manipulative. Correct. Victoria put down the knife. Stop testing him. Sophia's smile disappeared. For a second, real seriousness showed. I'm not testing Daniel. She looked toward the hallway. Then at me. I'm testing whether you two learned anything. That afternoon, Sophia texted me privately. Come Friday. Trust me. I showed Victoria. She stared at the screen. You're not going. Obviously. Good. Then, 30 seconds later, you should go? I laughed. What? Her expression had become painfully neutral. If you want to. I don't. You don't need my permission. I know. She is beautiful. Yes. Successful. Yes. Single. Apparently by choice. Victoria's eyes narrowed. Why are you agreeing with everything? Because you're being ridiculous. I am not. You are jealous again. No. Your butter knife disagrees. She walked away. Friday at 7. I went. Not because I wanted a date. Because Sophia had clearly built another trap. And apparently my life now included participating in emotional espionage. She chose a quiet wine bar. When I arrived, she was alone. You came. Against my better judgment. Excellent. I sat. No flirting. Fine. No touching. Fine. No marriage proposals. Sophia looked disappointed. You remove all joy. What's the plan? She looked toward the second-floor balcony. Then smiled. First, answer one question. What? If Victoria lost Hayes International tomorrow, would you still want her? Yes. Immediate. Sophia nodded. If she wasn't rich? Yes. If she wasn't your CEO? Yes. If she became difficult, insecure, possessive, she already is. Good answer. I leaned forward. Why are we doing this? Because she still doesn't believe you. I frowned. She moved into my home. Yes. We're dating. Are you? That is becoming irritating. Sophia smiled. Victoria thinks you're reacting to pressure. What pressure me? I understood. She thinks I chose her because you made me jealous. Partly. That is insane. She bought an apartment 3 blocks from you rather than asking you to dinner. Manage expectations. Fair. Sophia leaned back. So I'm ending the experiment. How? Tell me no. I've already told you no. Properly. She raised her voice slightly. Daniel, if I really wanted you, would you choose me? I stared. Then something clicked. Second-floor balcony. I looked up. A shadow moved behind the railing. Victoria. Of course. I almost laughed. Sophia whispered, don't look. Too late. She'll murder me. Probably. Then I answered. No. Sophia smiled. Why? Because you're not the woman I want. And who is? I looked toward the balcony without hiding it this time. The woman currently spying on us from upstairs. Silence. Then Victoria appeared. Her expression was murderous. Sophia? Sophia stood. Finally, Victoria came down the stairs. You told me you needed help. I did. You said Daniel was considering you. I said he was meeting me. That is not the same thing. Correct. Victoria looked at me. You knew? After about 30 seconds. You stayed. I wanted to see how far she'd go. Sophia looked proud. Victoria looked betrayed by both of us. I stepped closer. Victoria. What? I didn't choose you because Sophia forced me. She said nothing. I didn't kiss you because she made you jealous. Nothing. And I didn't ask you to move in because I was afraid Sophia would. Her expression softened slightly. Then why? Because I wanted you there. Simple. No corporate logic. No strategic explanation. Her shoulders loosened. Sophia picked up her bag. Excellent. Victoria glared. Where are you going? My work here is finished. You said that last time. This time I mean it. She kissed Victoria's cheek, then whispered loudly enough for me to hear, try believing him. Victoria sighed. Sophia walked out. I looked at the Ice Queen. Dinner. She folded her arms. This was humiliating. Yes. I hate both of you. Understandable. Then she took my hand. Dinner. Progress. Chapter 11. I was never competing with you. Victoria didn't forgive Sophia immediately. She made her wait 48 hours. According to Sophia, this was CEO-grade emotional punishment. On Sunday afternoon, the three of us met at my apartment. Sophia arrived carrying cake. Bribe, she announced. Victoria accepted the box. Not the apology. Sophia sat. Victoria remained standing. Why did you keep using yourself? Sophia blinked. What? As the threat. Her voice was quieter than I expected. You could have told Daniel I liked him. Yes. You could have told me he liked me. Yes. Instead, you kept pretending to want him. Sophia's expression softened. Because this wasn't about information. Victoria frowned. It was about choice. Sophia looked at me, then back at her. If I told Daniel everything, he'd react to a story. If I told you he liked you, you'd spend 6 months wondering whether I was exaggerating. Accurate. Sophia continued. I needed you to stop hiding. Victoria's jaw tightened. I wasn't hiding. You bought real estate. I laughed. Victoria ignored me. Sophia said, I was never competing with you. A pause. I was forcing you to stop competing with the version of yourself you thought Daniel needed. Victoria went still. Sophia leaned forward. 3 years ago. Remember what you wanted to do? Victoria looked away. I asked. What? Sophia answered. She wanted to transfer you directly into her office. I looked at Victoria. She looked guilty. Sophia continued. I stopped her. Why? Because she liked you. I frowned. That seems backwards. She had authority over you. Sophia's voice became serious. I told her that if she wanted you, she needed to make sure someday you could choose Victoria. Then, not CEO Victoria Hayes. The room went quiet. Victoria looked at me. I finally understood the whole 3-year pattern. Why she'd resisted promoting me. Why she'd hidden gifts. Why she'd never confessed. Why Sophia had been both blocker and matchmaker. Sophia had protected my ability to say no. I looked at her. Thank you. She blinked. For what? For not letting her turn a crush into a corporate transfer. Victoria looked offended. I would not have. Sophia and I both stared at her. She stopped. Fine. Sophia smiled. I like him. Victoria immediately said, Sophia. Platonically. Clarify faster. I laughed. Sophia stood. Now I'm actually leaving you two alone. At the door, Victoria stopped her. Sophia? She turned. Victoria hugged her. No words. Sophia closed her eyes for 1 second, then hugged back. When they separated, Sophia whispered, Took you long enough. Victoria rolled her eyes. After she left, I leaned against the door. So, you've wanted me for 3 years. Daniel, and your best friend had to stage a fake romantic invasion of my apartment. Don't. Before you admitted it. She walked toward the bedroom. I followed. Victoria. She turned. What? I love you. She froze. No joke. No strategy. No warning. Her eyes widened. I smiled. I thought I tried direct communication. She stared for a long moment. Then whispered, I love you too. And just like that, 3 years of hesitation ended in 8 words. Sophia would have been furious it was that easy. Chapter 12. Then live with me forever. Sophia moved her suitcases out the next morning. Not because she had actually lived with us. Apparently 2 of the 3 suitcases had contained clothes she'd planned to donate. I considered that cheating. She called it efficient. At the door, she looked at me. So, what? My original offer. You mean my original offer? Details. She smiled sweetly. Still have room for me? Before I could answer, Victoria closed the door, directly in her face. I stared. From the hallway, Sophia burst out laughing. Victoria locked the door. No vacancies. That was rude. She'll survive. My phone buzzed. Sophia *** worth it. I showed Victoria. She ignored it. 3 months later, Sophia's mother stopped arranging dates. Not because Sophia found a husband. Because Sophia finally sat her down and said, I am not waiting. Apparently, the conversation involved 2 hours, one bottle of wine, and several tears. It ended well. Mostly. Victoria still lived with me. Her official apartment 3 blocks away remained empty. I suggested selling it. She said real estate appreciates. Some lies were sentimental now. One Sunday morning, I found her standing in the kitchen reading something on her phone. I came up behind her. How long are you planning to stay? She didn't look up. Indefinitely. That sounds expensive. I pay half the mortgage. That's not what I meant. She finally turned. I leaned against the counter. Indefinite is a long lease. Victoria studied me. Then something strange happened. She looked nervous. Victoria Hayes. Nervous. I immediately became suspicious. What? Nothing. You're bad at nothing. She reached into the pocket of her cardigan, then placed a small box on the counter. My heart stopped. Victoria, open it. Inside was a ring. Simple. Elegant. Not flashy. Exactly right. I looked at her. She crossed her arms. Defensive. Say something. You're proposing? I am presenting an option. I laughed. Her cheeks turned pink. Don't. You negotiate marriages now? No. Lease extension? Daniel. I softened. Okay. She took a breath. Then finally dropped the CEO voice. When Sophia first joked about moving in, you mean when I joked? Fine. Her lips curved. When you said she should stop looking for someone and just live with you. I hated it. I noticed. Because I wanted you to say it to me. I said nothing. She continued. But now I don't want to stay because I'm jealous. Or because Sophia manipulated us. A reluctant smile. No. She looked directly at me. I want to stay because this feels like home. That got me. I picked up the ring. Then held out my hand. Fine. Her eyebrows lifted. Fine. Stop looking for somewhere else to live. She stared. I smiled. Just live with me forever. Her eyes filled. That is a terrible proposal. You started with an option presentation. Fair. I slid the ring onto her finger, then realized something. Wait. Victoria looked at me. You bought your own engagement ring? Yes. That feels controlling. I know what I like. I laughed. Of course she did. She grabbed my shirt and kissed me before I could say anything else. My phone rang. Sophia? Victoria looked at the screen. Don't answer. I have to. No. I answered. Sophia's voice came through immediately. Did she do it? I looked at Victoria. Her eyes narrowed. You knew? Sophia laughed. Of course. Victoria grabbed the phone. I am changing every lock. You still owe me for Project Ice Melt. What do you want? A table at the wedding far away from your relatives. Done. And Daniel's steak. I called toward the phone. Acceptable. Sophia gasped. Victoria has infected you. The call ended. I looked at the woman standing in my kitchen. 3 years ago, she had been my impossible CEO. 3 months ago, she was the woman furious because I jokingly invited her best friend to live with me. Now she wore my ring. Victoria looked down at it. Then at me. Daniel. Yes? No more inviting single women to live here. I laughed. Jealous? No? Still lying? Yes. At least she'd improved. I pulled her closer. And somewhere across the city, Sophia Bennett was probably already congratulating herself. She deserved to. After all, she had never been my love rival. She had simply been the woman smart enough to see that 2 stubborn people were already in love, and ruthless enough to make us admit it.